What's going on, guys? My name is Casey Francis O'Brien the first, and I'm here because I don't want to. Nobody wants to. And trust me, this is the last thing that I've ever wanted to do with my character, who I feel as a person. I would crawl until my skin flayed and my nervous system shut down, and I would keep crawling before it meant having to ask for help. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. I want to give you guys, well, one, I was never going to do this, but the stars aligned so perfectly. And everything in my life got so overwhelming. I was forced to be victimized and degraded. And I still wasn't going to ask for help. I escaped into the woods and I crawled on the ground covered in ticks, raking leaves until my hands were filleted. And then I decided, after I got a notification for a tarot reading, which I never take, but it was like very specific. I'm a Sagittarius 33 life path I had just learned about a couple months ago. So I get Sagittarius 33 life path, this is for you. How does YouTube know about that? So I click it and it says, you've been through enough. It's time that you learn how to ask for help, because we know you're so determined that you will go to the ends of the earth, but it's time you learn that the world isn't completely out to destroy you, and how to, with humility, let people know your needs. So I'm here. I just want to take a second to describe what my life has been like, to give you a backstory of why it's come to this. I am not a crackhead, no drugs at all. I'm not lazy trying to get my needs met, like to buy some McDonald's and then go back to sitting. I have goals, I'm working towards those goals, and I just can't meet it with the current where I'm at in life. So I'm here on top of a mountain in central Vermont. I left home in 2022. Before that, from 2019 to 2022, I was suffering with a traumatic brain injury where it was giving me the symptoms of schizophrenia, but it wasn't schizophrenia. It was where my thoughts stopped working and my mind could only think in TV shows, if that makes sense. Like, I couldn't hold on and understand the narrative of what was happening. It was like I was stuck outside in like 6 different realities, and I couldn't figure out the way to mesh it all together, to communicate like emotions and narratives and thoughts and music and sound and rhythm and tone of people's voices and colors and shapes. And my brain couldn't put anything together. It was just like scattered Legos that couldn't fit, and I was constantly trying to keep it together with this overwhelming feeling. So I would walk around out of my mind, like picking up bees off the ground and walking around town asking people if they knew where the beehive was, because I felt like if I was this bee and it was dead and there's nothing you can do about it, I'd at least want to bury it next to its family. So I was trying to find the bee's family. Before that car accident, I worked in the music industry, and they definitely did give me like overloads of psychedelics. So I came back, waited a couple weeks, got off whatever that was, went back and got my degree. So I'm a certified audio engineer. I have a couple of songs with over 1 million on Spotify back in the day. Before that, I was a DCF kid, where my father has a traumatic brain injury, and one night he regressed and tried to kill me, and I had to kill him. And then I went into DCF custody, and it was torture. It was lots of bad places with no heart. And then a child that had just gone through that didn't work very well, but I learned how to be independent, and I brought myself out of all of these situations by myself with consistent work every day, giving 150% in a place that does not value intelligence or common sense. So having a persevering, happy, driving forward commander vibe, just trying to get things done, puts you a little bit socially off. And the people here don't like that. I happen to be, I don't know, am I physically attractive? Am I good looking? It's enough that I get in violent situations with rednecks daily because they're in these small towns. The girls give me more attention, but I have so much going on up here that it doesn't register like it should. I can't really enjoy it. So I was traveling around the country door dashing because I figured if I'm gonna have a brain injury that's gonna make me not able to speak or think, I'm not gonna do it in my hometown so that all the people that hated on me in high school because I had a pretty girlfriend, for them to gawk and laugh at me about how awful my life has become, that's what they were doing. They were literally pointing and laughing like I couldn't see them through the window at me with my hair like this. But I got over it. Look, we got through it. I'm doing 200 push-ups a day and I'm happy. But decided to DoorDash around the country, made the best music I've ever made, ran into tons and tons of people that went on to be famous. I felt like I made a significant impact in one of the most important years of my life, and I did it all by myself, homeless, door dashing. My car was stolen, I got jumped a few times, I was left out in sub-zero weather for 3 winters, trying to figure this out, because with the injuries you regress and you come back, and then you regress and you come back. So in the winter when the depression came, I ceased functioning, and I ended up like hiding in laundromats and dryers and trying to sneak into Planet Fitness, and I would cry in the shower, try to get a job, and it was like my mind couldn't understand negativity and people having bad days, and it felt like it was attaching onto me and attacking me, and I was trying to convert it. And I had really weird situations that like the pattern and the numbers aligned so perfectly that my brain like saw this thing, and then like simulation breaking stuff that I was trying to integrate with reality, and then it turns out that was there as like a loophole or a cheat code to get you to this higher state of awareness of the universe that society is getting to. Sorry, bit of a schizo thought. But like my mentor and the girlfriend I had at the time and my another mentor I had met that were all in the same building, had the same March 3rd birthday, and then I found out about 33 Life Path, and that led me down a road to making my best song I've ever made. And then I taught a bunch of people about it that helped them find a new set of identities higher than their depression and stuff like that. But make it through a year there. I'm finally ready to go home and confront all my friends and start building a life, like throwing events and being a leader. Like I went from being nothing to being a leader, being a badass, fighting crackheads and surviving in the cold by myself and having to do everything on my own. Again, at a higher level than when I was young. I was an only child, isolated on a mountain. So constantly having to figure out reality in a world that doesn't want that. So I was always a weird kid. Even though I was funny, I had good mentors, like autistic mentors that made millions and millions of dollars and taught people social skills, like the stuff that they didn't know when they were kids. So I had access to that at a young age, and that taught me how to bring it forward and how to use my mind as a different ability, not a disability. And I learned how to create fun moments, and I threw events and threw parties and led social interactions and taught people that would never ever in their life learn these skills on their own. So I taught them that at a young age, and now they went on to be managers. But then I have a brain injury, and I'm stuck in public housing, and I'm having psychosis every day, and the people in the public housing were trying to molest me and wrote me into these these games where they would try to trick me into feeling emotionally raped and then hold that over me, like Pimp Game but in Vermont with pedos. So it was really damaging to my psyche, and I guess the best thing out of it is now I can recognize a pedophile like this. I can walk into a room and understand how far into pedophilia this guy has gotten. If that makes sense to you. Like I can see a 40-year-old man and see his lack of social conditioning. It just took being almost molested like 70 times and then having it stuck in my head for years and having to figure out what happened on my own. But it is what it is. Before that, I used to cheat on my girlfriends, so maybe it's karma. It's not karma. It was a lot worse than karma. So, well, that happened, and I didn't fix all my problems, but I got to a point where I was able to fight regardless. Like, I was able to function regardless of the lots of trauma, lots of jumping, lots of being trapped, lots of people that are supposed to help you hurt you. And then I'm alone and hungry and starving, and I have to eat out of dumpsters and be less than an animal because I can't communicate correctly. But then I fight a crackhead and I invigorate myself and I move forward and save people and feed raccoons, and I live with the birds in the woods by myself, and I learn how to speak and sing to birds with energy, vibration. I think that was a squirrel. I don't think that was a bird. But either way, either way, nature, the sounds of nature healed me more than any medicine ever did. You feel me? So I'm on my way home and my transmission slips in the middle of winter. My car actually breaks down on Casey Road, and my name's Casey. And my favorite colors are green, white, and red. And there's a green, white, and red mansion I break down right outside of on top of this hill. And I have to floor it to get out of the snow. I break down like 30 miles later, and I'm trapped in a gas station in the small town. Comes to help me, like they come bearing gifts and they help me, and then like 3 days later, after the word got around, there's like an angry mob of drunk, seasonally depressed, middle-aged Vermonters that are trying to get me. And everybody's like now trying to hurt me, and I'm still just out of it, freezing in my car, sub-zero on top of a mountain. But eventually, like I walked through it, you know, I charged through it, networked, got myself, like met people that this guy, okay, do you know anyone that can help me? Oh, this guy might be, okay. Talk to him. Okay, this is my situation. I'm sorry to ask. Okay, this guy. I get a phone number. I call him. He shows up right when other people were trying to set me up. I go like 20 miles north to a nice place, and he helps fix my car. Car breaks down like 40 miles later for something else. So I have to call him and have him, like another tow company, help me bring it back, and then he helps me, and then got the car fixed. So I'm on my way back again. After that was like another week of staying outside. But it reminded me of how I started before I had the car. When I was traveling around the country with the brain injury, trying to meet people that could fix it. I would go to Instagram influencers that dealt with brain damage, and I would go to their office, and one of them helped me, and that's how I figured out. And I've led people out of dementia with the things that I've learned. I've helped a lot of people with cancer with what I've learned. And I got to meet my childhood heroes in Miami, but I still didn't have it all together like I do now. I didn't have the humility and strength from overcoming the suffering. So I'm saying that these are situations where I didn't ask for help. I forced myself through. With as little help as possible. It was only when I absolutely needed to, like I'm freezing in sub-zero weather and I'm hiding behind a blanket outside, and it's like I'm covered in snow, and then I decide, like, fuck it, I'll go up and I ask somebody if they know somebody that might be able to get my car in, and I'll sweep their garage or do whatever they need to do to get my car at least working enough that I can sleep in it while I wait for these Indeed applications. But it's southern Vermont, it was central Vermont, where there's small town prejudice. As soon as they found out I was homeless and didn't have reliable transportation, they all cut me off. I didn't get a single call back from any place, and I could show you on Indeed. I had like 300 applications, even at McDonald's. But it is what it is, man, because I'm really happy where I ended up. At the end, I broke down in this small town. I had a Red Sox hat on, some skinny white boy that never left his small town, so it's like in contrast. I went around the country and I ran into somebody that had never left his small town. and he had this little stupid flashlight baton, and I had a hatchet that I've used on people before that tried to kill me in the past, just for existing, just for being outside at night, and now I have to defend myself. So he swung, and I got him and pierced his lung, and he ran away screaming, and I chased him out of the laundromat, yelling like my ancestors. I'm trying to get the video, but they won't send it, because fuck them, they're fat pussies. Sorry. But car's broken down, transmission fluid's turning black, it won't shift to drive. Middle of winter. I'm getting up and systematically finding all the cans in this small town, in this tiny little downtown area. I'm going to all the places where I know that there's alcoholics that are drinking every night, and I'm collecting cans so that I can return them at the 1 can redemption place that's like in the middle of winter, and I'm walking like 3 miles in the sub-zero with a wheelbarrow full of cans I got a wheelbarrow from an abandoned house, and I'm walking with these wheelbarrows full of cans every night, and I'm waiting till the morning and returning them, and I'm online trying to figure out crypto. Eventually I'm going to find a way to turn the crypto, and I swear to God, I turned $3 into 30 in one of those 10x's. But then what happened? Then they kicked me out of where I was staying. I was staying in a 24-hour laundromat. They found the video of me having to defend myself against somebody else, and they trespassed me from the area. So I had a job where I was going to work, I make music every day. All I do is make music. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking about music, and I'm thinking about life, and I'm putting together the most perfect thing that I can do that drives my emotional state. Every time I listen to it, it makes me feel better. No matter how depressed I am, I play music that heals me and puts me back in place. Like, I take this regression and these brain injuries as a blessing so that I can put it together to make my best work that anyone plays. And I would go to, when I lived outside in Oakledge Park in Burlington, and I was protecting high schoolers from crackheads that were waiting in the bushes, like literally waiting in the woods for these kids to have sex. And I would, one guy I caught with night vision goggles, he's the guy that made the movie Incident at Montauk, and we chased him out. All this stuff. Point was, the one guy that would hire me he needed help doing flooring on a stage at the local music hall. So I'm going to work the next day, and then I wake up and there's 6 police, all the police they could find, and they trespass me from there and the job, and then everybody goes back to hating me. From here, I don't know if you could see, but from here all the way to that mountain over there,